Tony Stewart just made a phone call that has the entire racing world talking. Cleetus McFarland just posted something that sent his millions of followers into a frenzy. And what these two are cooking up behind the scenes might be the biggest thing to happen to grassroots racing in decades. You need to hear this. Now, before we get into all the juicy details, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell because we're bringing you all the latest updates on this developing story, and stick around until the end because we're going to break down what this could mean for the future of grassroots racing in America. So, let's set the stage here. Tony Stewart, three-time NASCAR Cup Series champion, Hall of Famer, and current NH Fuel driver, has been making waves in the racing community again. And on the other side, we have Garrett Mitchell, better known as Cleetus McFarland, the YouTuber who turned his love for cars and freedom into a racing empire with millions of followers. These two worlds colliding is creating some serious excitement, and the internet is going absolutely wild with speculation. Here's what we know for sure. Tony Stewart and Cleetus McFarland have already worked together on multiple occasions throughout 2025. Back in February, Stewart showed up in one of Cleetus's videos for the Hard Park the Spark Challenge. If you haven't seen it, go check it out because watching smoke drift a car at high speed into a tight parking spot is absolutely incredible. The chemistry between these two was obvious, and fans immediately started asking when they'd see more collaborations. Then in May, things got even more interesting. Tony Stewart confirmed he would be racing in Cleetus McFarland's Indy 800 drag event at Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park. This wasn't just a celebrity appearance either. Stewart went out there and actually competed, bringing his NH experience to one of Cleetus's signature events. The crowd went absolutely nuts, and the video footage from that day shows just how much both the old-school NASCAR fans and the younger YouTube audience loved seeing these two together. But here's where things start getting really intriguing. Stewart has been very complimentary about Cleetus's business model, but just hawk of enfold of Mayan for music of readies. However short today with things about in 1986. All those times within 5. Word around the paddock is that Tony has mentioned how impressed he is with how much money Cleetus makes compared to traditional Cup teams. Think about that for a second. A NASCAR Hall of Famer is looking at a YouTuber's operation and seeing a successful business model that actually makes sense in today's world. That's a huge deal and shows how much the racing landscape is changing. Now we need to talk about what's happening with both of these guys individually in 2026 because it sets up the perfect storm for collaboration. Cleetus McFarland has confirmed he's running a partial ARCA schedule this year, planning about 5 races total. He's already locked in for Daytona in February and Talladega in April, driving the number 30 Ford for Rhea Jones Racing. His ultimate goal is to make it to the Daytona 500, something he's dedicated to his late mentor Greg Biffle, who tragically passed away in a plane crash late last year. Speaking of emotional moments, Cleetus almost walked away from NASCAR entirely after losing Greg. In a recent video, he admitted that he didn't want to step foot in a NASCAR garage again after everything that happened, but he's pushing forward, carrying the mission that he and Biffle shared together. The back of his car says, "Be like Biff." And he's determined to honor that legacy by making it to the biggest race in stock car racing. On Tony Stewart's side, we've got some major developments too. After stepping away from NASCAR team ownership, when Stewart-Haas Racing closed down after 2024, Tony has been focusing on his NH Top Fuel program and his sprint car team, Tony Stewart Racing. But here's the kicker. In early January, it was announced that Tony Stewart is making a surprise return to NASCAR. He's going to run the number 25 Ram truck for Cowig Racing at Daytona next month in the Craftsman Truck Series. This is his first NASCAR start in 10 years. And it's creating massive buzz in the racing world. Now, here's where the Cleetus connection gets really interesting. Ram Trucks is returning to NASCAR in 2026, and they've created something called the Free Agent Driver Program. This program features a rotating door of drivers from across the motorsports world in the number 25 truck throughout the season. It's basically an all-star truck that will showcase different talents race by race. And guess whose names keep coming up as potential drivers for this program? That's right. Both Tony Stewart and Cleetus McFarland. Ram Trucks CEO Tim Kuniskis has been asked about both of these guys multiple times. When Kevin Harvick brought up the possibility of Cleetus racing for Ram on his Happy Hour podcast, Kuniskis didn't shut it down completely. He said he didn't know where the rumors came from, but also left the door open with a very vague response. Same thing when asked about Tony Stewart. He told reporters he hadn't heard from Tony about getting involved, but finished with, "We'll see where this all ends up." That's not exactly a denial, folks. The rumor mill has been working overtime with speculation about what these two might be planning together. Some fans are convinced that Tony Stewart visited the Freedom Factory with a camera crew recently, fueling theories about a new racing series or special event. The Freedom Factory, for those who don't know, is Cleetus's home track in Bradenton, Florida. It's a 3/8-mile asphalt oval with 12 degrees banking that used to be Dotto Speedway. Cleetus bought it and turned it into the home base for events like the Freedom 500, the 2.4 hours of Lulitz, and the Bristol 1000. Think about what a collaboration between these two could look like. You've got Tony Stewart's decades of professional racing experience and industry connections, meeting Cleetus McFarland's ability to generate millions of views and engage a younger audience that traditional racing struggles to reach. Stewart brings credibility and old-school racing knowledge. Cleetus brings modern marketing savvy and a fan base that's absolutely rabid for content. There's been talk about everything from a dedicated racing series to a massive pay-per-view special event. Some people are even speculating about bringing Top Fuel cars to the Freedom Factory, which would be absolutely insane. Can you imagine NH-style drag racing at a short-track oval that's become famous for Crown Vic races and burnout competitions? That would be unlike anything we've ever seen in motorsports. What makes this potential partnership so powerful is that it represents a bridge between two very different worlds. You've got the establishment racing world that Tony Stewart represents with all its tradition, professionalism, and decades of history. Then you've got the YouTube car culture that Cleetus represents with its freedom, creativity, and direct connection to fans. Whether we're talking about a full racing series, special events, or just more collaborative appearances, one thing is clear. When Tony Stewart and Cleetus McFarland get together, magic happens. The old-school fans love seeing smoke back in action. The YouTube generation loves seeing their favorite content creator mixing it with a legitimate racing legend. And everybody loves the high-octane entertainment that comes from combining professional racing talent with creative fan-focused content production. So, what happens next? Well, we'll have to wait and see. Keep your eyes on both Tony Stewart's and Cleetus McFarland's social media channels because when something official gets announced, that's where you'll hear it first. In the meantime, the speculation and excitement will continue building as we head into the 2026 racing season.